I'm making a prediction. England versus France in the final. England are going to win 2-1. Mbappe to score first. Kane to equalise. Jude Bellingham to score the winner. Yeah. I want Saka to score, but I don't see it happening. Either way, football's coming home. Shows you how much I know about football. Both England and France lost their semi-finals when I thought they were both going to make it to the final. I thought France were going to blow Spain away. I thought their attack were going to be too dominant and too strong for the Spanish team, and I thought France were going to make the final. I think most people thought France were going to make the final. England versus Argentina was more of a 50-50 matchup. I think more people were confident that England will get the job done, but oh man. First of all, I am recording this at, my Apple Watch is about to die. I'm recording this at midnight here in the UK. The England-Argentina match finished a couple of hours ago. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm sober. I do not think I am sober. I don't have a voice. I am lost for words. I'm really lost for words. This is just my initial off-the-cuff reaction. I haven't really thought about what I want to say, but I guess I do have some things to say. I'm really disappointed. Obviously, I thought England would win the World Cup. I was like being very tongue-in-cheek with it. Like, it was more optimism rather than genuine belief. And I felt like with the team that England have and the squad that they have brought to this World Cup, with the way that Argentina have performed in this World Cup, England had more than enough to get the job done. And I think I'm really disappointed because that game was reminiscent of a Gareth Southgate game. And I really like Gareth Southgate. I really do like Gareth Southgate. I think considering where England were when he became the England manager and where he took England to, and cool, he never won anything. Got to a couple of semi-finals, got to a couple of finals, and lost on both occasions. But he made English fans believe again. England never used to get to finals. We'd always get knocked out in the round of 16 or in the quarterfinals, or we'd always put in like a sheepish performance. At least in recent years, with Gareth Southgate and now with Thomas Tuchel, there is an expectation that England should be in the semi-final of a World Cup, of a Euros, of a major tournament. And listen, some of the best teams lose matches. We saw France lose to Spain. France have been one of the best teams in this tournament. But with England, the same patterns keep repeating themselves time and time and time and time again. I'm going to hold fire. I'm going to reintroduce myself because some people might be watching this video, never watched any of my content before, would have no idea who I am, probably confused as to why this guy that is semi-tipsy / semi-drunk is in his bed with a microphone. So, hi, my name is Ore. Welcome back to another episode of Small Talk. This is where I sit in my bed and I dissect the world of news, sport, politics, entertainment, popular culture, fashion, and everything in between, but aim to delve that little bit deeper than beneath the surface. First things first, I'm really tired of watching football. Obviously, I am British. I have an English accent. I live in London, and a lot of the England team, the players in the team, play for the club that I support, but they're a likeable bunch. I support Arsenal, and as much as I love Eze, Rice, and Madueke, I also really like Elliot Anderson, Jude Bellingham, I've spoken about him a ridiculous amount of times. One of my favourite players in recent years, Marcus Rashford. Jed Spence, oh my God. What the hell? Jed Spence has put in an incredible amount. Like, he's changed my view of him this tournament. I think despite all of that, when push comes to shove, England seem to always choke at the big occasions. Every single time. And cool, 2018, England weren't ready to make a World Cup final. I think that semi-final was very premature, which is why a lot of the nation rallied behind the England team. And we could see that Gareth Southgate was building something. There was a feeling, there was something in the 2018 team that was different, and there was an optimism, and we were excited for what was to come. The Euros in 2020, obviously it was in 2021, delayed because of COVID. Same again. I felt like England should have won that tournament, but push comes to shove. Choked. Go 1-0 up in the final of a major competition, and then miraculously, try to defend your 1-0 lead, invite pressure, and the team that were more courageous, the team that were willing to fight and try and win the game, they won the tournament. So there was that. 2022, losing a World Cup quarterfinal to the eventual finalists, France, who were just an incredible team, lost on penalties, that incredible match in the final against Argentina. Losing to that French team is not a disappointment because they were just better. I do have some things to say about Harry Kane, but we're going to get onto that a little bit later. Coming into this tournament, I've skipped to 2024, but I don't have the time to go into every single performance. Coming into this particular World Cup, I said England weren't going to win it in one of my earlier videos, and I changed my mind last minute thinking that they would win it. But I do think England had the tools, they had the players, they had the manager, and they had everything within their power needed to win this World Cup. And the same pattern repeated itself again. England choked when it really, really mattered. And I'm quite disappointed in Thomas Tuchel. I think he's a great manager. When it comes to knockout competitions and knockout football, he seems to always get it right. But this time, he got it so wrong. And obviously hindsight is a great thing because we can talk about the players that he didn't bring and the tactics in which he played. Those tactics got England to a World Cup semi-final. Those tactics without the players that he didn't bring got England to a World Cup semi-final. But you can't go 1-0 up in a World Cup semi-final and just throw defenders on and expect that to be enough. For me, the best teams, the teams that win, the teams that die on their sword, go out and play football. And if they lose, at least they lose trying. And I think that is my biggest frustration with that semi-final. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think Argentina have been good this World Cup. I don't. They struggled against Cape Verde. Cape Verde took them to extra time. The second goal that Cape Verde scored is one of the best goals of this year's tournament. And Argentina were very, very lucky to scrape through against Cape Verde. The game against Egypt were 2-0 up. 83rd minute, 80-something minute, Argentina score one goal, they score a second, they score the winner. And everybody wants to go, it's rigged for Argentina. No, they go out and play fucking football. And if they lose trying. But Egypt capitulated. Egypt should have very easily beaten Argentina. Switzerland, they weren't better than Argentina, but they gave Argentina a very, very good match. And it could have been Argentina's to win, it could have been Switzerland's to win, and obviously Argentina progressed. Then this game against England, I think England were the better team. I believe England were the better team up until when Argentina scored. You know, England had a great game plan. They were going to attack Argentina. They were going to outrun Argentina. They had pace. They had powers. They had runners. They had a physicality that overpowered Argentina. And it worked. The goal England scored was a brilliant goal. But I just don't understand why you would then take that goal. I can't remember when they scored, but let's just say, for argument's sake, it was in like the 57th minute. Why you would then just sit back, put defenders on, and invite pressure up until the 90 plus minutes, considering the greatest player of all time is still on the pitch. You are asking for trouble. And after England scored, it was almost like the pendulum swung in the other direction. Argentina, who in my opinion do not have better players than England. I'm not being biased because I live in England and I'm British and I really wanted England to win. This Argentina team is not the Argentina team that won the World Cup 4 years ago. They've got some good players, but they're not as good. They're not as good as England. But they've got the experience of winning. They've got the best player in the history of the game on their team. And despite going a goal down, they didn't stop playing football. They attacked. They brought midfielders on. They brought attackers on. And lo and behold, those midfielders and attackers won them the game. It won them the game. And even if the goal that was scored by Enzo, which was an incredible goal, by the way, cool, they equalise. It happens. It's knockout football. Any good team sets up and defends. Heck, get to extra time. Get a break in your legs. Let the manager rejig the tactics. But what you do not do, you do not concede a goal in 90 plus minutes. You don't concede a goal in injury time. I'm so sorry, but to concede that goal in the manner England conceded it, obviously I'm not on the pitch. I don't know how exhausted they are. I don't know what they're experiencing. But you've got to, at the very least, don't concede 2 goals in that period of time. And I think that's what the biggest disappointment is in that game. Because you've got 6 defenders on. You've brought Konsa on. You've brought Dan Burn on. You've set up a system where you are defending for your life. And maybe I'm being harsh, but I'm also an Arsenal fan. And I've watched Arsenal defend. I've watched Arsenal defend like their lives depend on it. So when I watch other teams try to defend leads that aren't Arsenal and then inevitably concede, I'm like, you're asking for it. You are asking for it. And with this World Cup, Jude Bellingham has been incredible. He's been incredible. And I've said it in videos on my channel. I've said it in conversations in person. Jude Bellingham is England's most important player. And I kind of want to talk about Harry Kane for a couple of seconds. I want to talk about him for a couple of moments. I'm really disappointed in Harry Kane. I'm really disappointed. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. I want to work with England in the future. I am a presenter. I'm a broadcaster. I would love to front content for England. And me being critical of England may hamper those opportunities. But I'm just going to be honest and say what I see. I've been saying this in my group chat for quite some time. And the guys in my group chat have been getting on to me. And I hate that I've been proved right. I don't think Harry Kane turns up when it really matters for England. Like, yes, you can score against Panama. Yes, you can score 2 brilliant goals against DR Congo. And England don't make it into this stage of the tournament without Harry Kane's goals. But time and time again, both for Tottenham and for England, when it really matters, when I am expecting the talisman, the captain, the figurehead of the team to rise to the occasion. Harry Kane always goes missing. Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't had the best tournament this year, but he's turned up for Portugal in the past. Kylian Mbappe turns up for France. Messi turns up for Argentina. Rodri turns up for Spain. Marino turns up for Spain. In the past, Lukaku turns up for Belgium. I'm trying to think of other teams. Modric turns up for Croatia. Every single time Harry Kane is in a position to impact and really drag the team and say, I'm going to grab this team and I'm not going to accept defeat, he goes missing. And you can't expect Jude Bellingham to bail out England every single time. Like, he's done incredibly well this tournament, but at some point, the goals, the performances, the desire eventually wears out. And yeah, listen, everything is easy to say in hindsight because he has had a great tournament, Harry Kane. But I just always feel like when it really matters, he never turns up. France, quarterfinal 2022, misses a penalty. 2018, could have squared Raheem Sterling in the semi-final against Croatia. Went for glory, England get knocked out. And I know I'm being very, very harsh, but this is what separates the good, great players from the world beaters. The world beaters. And Harry Kane, I'm sorry to say it, no matter how many goals you score in the Bundesliga against Hoffenheim and Hertha Berlin, when it really matters, I just don't see it. But that's a complete side story. I think Tuchel got it wrong. I think he set up the pragmatic approach and invited pressure, and unfortunately, Argentina capitalized on that, and now they are in the final of a World Cup, which is mad. I feel like this was one of the best chances England have had to win a World Cup, and now it's another 4 years. It's another 2 years to the Euros, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I'd love to be proved wrong, but Spain have grown into this tournament. They didn't start off great, but now they're in the final. Their midfield is just incredible, and I think Spain win this World Cup. And I said it before on the channel. I've actually got another video on my channel about how I think England are the Arsenal of international football. And watching England play against Argentina today has further solidified my belief that England are the Arsenal of international football. That final was very reminiscent. That match against Argentina was very reminiscent of the final that Arsenal played against PSG in the Champions League that's just gone by. Arsenal went up, took a lead, and didn't go for the win. The best teams in the world go and win games. They put their best players on the pitch, and if they lose, at least they die trying. And once again, hindsight is an incredible thing. Trent Alexander-Arnold should be at this World Cup. He should be in the World Cup squad. Adam Wharton should be in the World Cup squad. Cole Palmer hasn't had a great season, offers something different. He should have been in the World Cup squad. Kobbie Mainoo should have got minutes. Ollie Watkins should have got far more game time than he got in this tournament. And look, I'm not an elite level manager. I'm not a coach. I don't understand the intricacies of football in the way that the best managers in the world do. But you can't just have players that are pace, power, workhorses. Declan Rice is on his last legs. He's running on E. Saka has no Achilles. He has no hamstrings. Like, these players are tired and they've really given their absolute best, and their best just wasn't good enough. So yeah, football's not coming home. England are out of another World Cup. They're out of another major tournament. I don't know why. This one really hurts. Because I thought it could be different. I thought Argentina were there for the taking. I still don't think they were particularly good. But, heck, it is what it is. England have made their bed, and now they have to lie in it. Football, man. I don't know how I'm going to watch football next season. Especially now that William Saliba is injured. Saka is basically exhausted and has no hamstrings. Declan Rice is probably going to be out for a considerable amount of time. Arsenal aren't really moving in the transfer window. I'm sort of throwing in the towel for next season as an Arsenal fan. But hey, we won the league. Arsenal are Premier League champions, and nobody is going to take that away from me. I need this World Cup to be done. I need it to be over with. I don't know what England are going to do to lift this curse. Every single major tournament, this happens. But hey, we live and we learn. We go again. And yeah, I've got nothing else to say. I am very much drunk. I'm tired. My voice is gone. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your eyes, your ears, your attention. And I guess Spain to win the World Cup. Damn. Should have played Bukayo Saka. Well, good night.